All right, now let's test that again. Now, according to Google and according to YouTube, my page is live. I'm trying to look at myself in the camera, waving my hand to make sure that I am, in fact, live. I hope so. All right. In case you've been watching 5 minutes of this already, I am going to start over as though I'm just live now for the first time. Good morning, fam. It is Friday the 13th, January Friday the 13th, 2023 at about 5:45 a.m. and this is Programming in the Morning. Now, I was mentioning before everything kind of just went to wet the bed there on the stream that yeah, it's Friday the 13th, and I used to date a girl whose birthday. I was telling this whole story about how I dated this girl whose birthday was on Friday the 13th, and she would always go absolutely crazy whenever her birthday landed on Friday the 13th. We dated for like 4 years, and in those 4 years, I think she had two birthdays that were on Friday the 13th, and then I was talking about how the last I heard of her, she was selling fairy wings. And I remember helping her with her website at the time. Like she had a whole shop online where you could go and you could buy these custom fairy wings. You could go and you could like pick your design, you could pick your size, and you could specificities about these wings. And then she would build them and then ship them to you. And shipping was insane. I remember that. I remember shipping was like it was like $100 to ship these things because they were so fragile. They had to be packaged just the right way, and if they weren't packaged correctly, then they could break. And so that's why shipping was so expensive. And I think she also probably did with insurance. So yeah, and they were huge, huge, very like these huge wings that like a person would wear to, I don't know, to like Comic-Con or some kind of weird thing like that. I always figured there was probably some sexual aspect to it. Like if you had a fantasy of getting plowed as a fairy, then to each their own. Hey, if as long as you're not hurting anybody or messing around with something you shouldn't be messing with, then to each their own. Everybody is free to explore whatever kinks and yeah, to each their own is what I say. In talking about to each their own, we got to figure out what we're going to do today. Now, yesterday I had started on, I tried to start on getting the C++ portion of our Kekbo project working. I actually have the Electron CCP project working. That was really scary. So today, I think what we'll do is we'll probably carry on with that. And then, I'm not too sure. We'll just try to get the C++ version working, and I think that will be a good. I think that'll be a good start. Honestly, just getting that working, and then maybe go ahead and try to get the Electron portion at least started. So we'll go ahead and switch back over to our folder and get ready to work. I'm gonna have to move this window. It is a little distracting watching myself. And I want to find the chat window. Where is the chat window? The chat window disappeared. Give me 1 second, please. There's the chat window. So hopefully somebody shows up in chat today. I know it's pretty early. And hopefully the microphone is working. Is the microphone? Testing, testing, testing. Yeah, it does look like the microphone is working. Okay, that is good. All right, so let's, is it F source? And then actually one of the things I said is that Electron I keep saying CCP, like we're talking about like the Chinese government. No, Electron CPP should actually just be in the plain old source folder. So actually, let me go ahead and clone it in there really quick. That should only take a second, children. Don't worry, it's only going to take a minute. So yeah, it is the weekend. I hope everybody has big plans for the weekend. Oh wait, did I actually... No. Let me see. Can I find it? CPP. Oh, maybe I did put it under Lowell's apps. Did I? Oh, I did change the ownership yesterday. Okay, so we'll keep it right where it's at for now. I might change it back and then put it somewhere else, but that's my neuroticism. Okay, that's interesting. Is it in here? There we go. Now we're making progress. Ah, what? I type a little too fast. You know, I remember when, this reminds me of this story long ago. When I mean, this was years ago. When I worked at, let's just try this. Not 167, 116. When I worked at Avis Rent-A-Car, and I would sit there, and people would come in, they would want to rent a car, and then they would give you your driver's license and credit card, driver's license and credit card, and I worked that job for maybe 5-6 years on and off, and I would type the information as fast as I could, and I was just like I'm typing on, like Adam Smith, 123 Main Street. I'm not showing off or anything. I was just typing because you would have a line of like 5 customers and you had to manually type in their information. So you just wanted to get it in and typed because you wanted to get them in a car and out of your site so that you could move on to the next customer. And you want to do this as quickly as possible. So I would sit there and I would type as fast as I could. And then I remember I had a customer once, and he was like, you type too fast. He was, he talked with an accent. He's like, you type too fast. And I'm like, okay. He's like, you can't live life like that. I remember him literally telling me, like, you can't go through life like that. You have to take your time. And so that just encouraged me to type faster because, who was this random person just telling me that I have to take my time in typing? You don't tell another man how to type. That is sacred. That is, that there you can insult a man's mother. You can break his honor or insult his honor, but you don't tell another man how to type. And so I just remember typing there as fast as I could in despite of this man, and I really showed him. I really burned his butter, I'm sure. All right, where are we? Okay, so the code, we were in the middle of trying to get, remember we had built Boost. We got that working, and thought we had got that working. Electric Owl, okay, that's what we want. No, we don't want Electric Owl. God damn it. Let's do it this way. F-Drive, source, lols apps, and what we're going to do is we're just literally going to drag the whole folder into Visual Studio Code, and it will load it right up. Visual Studio Code is really amazing. I was actually watching some, I was looking at the website, the GitHub Next, and there's some pretty cool features. I downloaded something that allows you to use some of the new features ahead of time, and some of the stuff looks really cool. All right, sip. I'm going to have to go downstairs and get another soda in a minute. Don't worry, I'll be right back. Actually, let me set up let me set up a scene really quick. Let's see, we could do this. And so be right back. And then actually, no. We can remove this scene, yes. And we can duplicate this scene, yes. And then to that, we can add a text overlay. Text, and the text just says, what is the text going to say? Be right back. And then we can have a background color. I am red-green colorblind, so we'll do it in yellow. And then we could do it like this, and that didn't work. Why didn't it work? Select color. No. Is that the text color? Oh, I know I'm doing this all off screen. I know this is just completely... Oh, background opacity. There we go. We could do it like that. Ha. Okay, I'll fix that in a second. Maybe I need to make it a darker color. I don't know if you're able to see this or not. It doesn't look like you are, and that's That's just okay. All right, background. We're going to change the background color of this text to black. Keep the opacity. And no, we're not going to keep the opacity. We're going to... Come on. I got to keep these videos. I got to keep them exciting. There we go. Be right back. All right, that is saved. We can put this in studio mode. And then I can transition to this, I think. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to try and transition. Hopefully this works. Oh, look. No, it was on screen the entire time. Transition. Okay. I will be right back. All right. Let's go back to the previous scene. All right, ladies and germs, let's try and get this show on the road. We have already wasted nearly a half hour, 15 minutes. Let's actually accomplish something, shall we? Let's do it. So let's try getting this to build again. I thought we had built. I'm pretty sure we were able to successfully build the library yesterday. But if I try to build it now, could not load cache. It's as though the cache was never loaded. It's as though I never ran CMake. So let's nuke it. I wonder if I did it from a different folder. Is that possible? None of those look like folders that I would build from. Did I do another folder? And none of those look like builders I would build from. So let's go ahead and CMake build dash. So what we want to do is we want to specify the generator. It's basically the make file that we're going to use, and I think that is it. We can easily correct that, and then we want to tell CMake that we are going to do a debug build. All right, so we'll do that. And Jove Boskowski is in the house, and he says, yo, Jove, what's going on? Good morning to you, even though I believe it is probably afternoon, lunchtime over there. All right, so we got that building, or we got that generating the make files. So let's actually just build it. And then this should give us a simple .lib file, which I'm pretty sure, wait. All right, what am I doing wrong? Let me take out the parallel. Could not load cache. It literally generates everything here. It literally generates the build files, but then it tells me it can't load the cache. Is my muscle memory failing me? Am I doing something wrong? CMake -- build. All right, we got to figure that out. One way we can figure this out is just simply by loading up the project in Visual Studio. We'll actually defer to Visual Studio for this. Visual Studio. Where's Visual Studio? Apps. What happened to my computer? Literally, like where is everything? did I get a virus? Did somebody delete everything that I'm doing? Like, what is happening? Okay, Visual Studio, and then this is what I want. No, I don't want Visual Studio Code. I want actual Visual Studio. I am completely dumbfounded. I honestly am. I feel like something happened to this computer. Visual Studio. That's kind of scary, actually. I don't know what is happening. So what we'll do instead is we'll try to, Microsoft Visual Studio 22, Professional. Where would the IDE be? Probably would, no, here it might be under Common, IDE. Blend dev environment. This is the I'm pretty sure this is the IDE. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Why did it disappear from? Weird. All right, so let's open up a new project or solution. But what we're going to do is we're going to open up the one that we just created. Because what this does is, what we did with CMake is CMake will build the build files, and then it should actually allow you to build. And I don't know why it's not allowing us to build. So what we'll do is we'll try to build it through Visual Studio to see why it's not working, and see if that will give us any clues into why it's not working. So if we go over here, and then we go to Lulz apps, and then we go to Electric CPP, and then we go into the build folder, we should see this solution file right here. And then there's mylib. We could set that as it's not really going to be a startup project, but we can set it anyway as one. I don't want this to take up the whole screen because that's distracting. And now let's just build. All right, so this looks like it's compiling, and this looks like it did exactly everything I wanted it to do. That is really weird. I need to check my understanding to make sure, even though I've been doing this for years and I'm really confident, I need to go into another project. Let me see, something that I know is going to compile. Maybe TTVG will compile. And this should have a build folder. And then if I try to build this, and again, this is all just kind of operating under muscle memory. No, why do I keep doing 116? Could not load cache. I am dumbfounded. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to check. I'm going to check the CI/CD files. So those are the files that specify how this program gets built when you check it into GitHub. So I'm going to check those because those will have the actual command line commands. And I want to see, like, am I having a senior moment and have forgotten how to do this? CMake build. No. The only difference here is that it's actually passing the build type. So if I go and could not load cache. This is weird. And then even if I delete everything, right? I delete it. I delete all the build files I generate. I regenerate them So this is the generation step of the build file. So basically, CMake, again, like I explained the other day, CMake is a cross-platform build system. It allows you to, because each build system is going to have its own specific, or each operating system is going to have its own specific build system. Actually, it's really every operating system and every C++ tool. So every compiler is going to have its own specific build system. CMake allows you to generate build files for those specific build systems. So you can say, okay, here's my project, and I want to build on Windows using Visual Studio, or actually Visual C++. So I'm on Windows using Visual C++. And then you tell CMake, okay, that's where I am, so generate the build files for me. And so it will generate the build files, and then you tell CMake, okay, now that you've generated the build files, do the actual building. The build files tell the tool how to do the actual building. So what this command that I'm about to run here does, what it does is it says, okay, I want you to generate the build files for Visual Studio 2022. You can ignore the Visual Studio 17 right now, but Visual Studio 2022. And now when you build something, I gotta shut the door real quick. Lupin. So when you compile something, and I explained this the other day, there are different types. You can do debug, you can do release, you can do things like that. I am going to build a debug copy. So I'm telling CMake, I'm like, generate the build files so that I can compile using Visual Studio 22, and I want to compile a debug version. So it goes through CMake error processing. Did I make a typo? Oh, I did make a typo. Okay, so this needs to have a D in front of it. All right. Okay, so you can see it found Visual Studio, but it found Visual Studio 22. It goes through, it makes sure I have all of the libraries it needs. It's doing some other things, adjusting, does the configuration, it does the generation. Right here it tells you build files have been written. Okay, that's great. And that's the folder I'm in. F:/source lols apps electron. Okay, great, perfect. So now if I build, I should say, okay, what this command is saying, it's saying, okay, this dot here means the current folder. So it says, build whatever build files you find in the current folder. And since we just generated those build files in the current folder, it should use what we just generated. Could not load cache. And that is that is problematic. What am I missing? All right, I'm going to try something off screen real quick. So let me try it in a different window, because I'm going to try it with one of my client projects just to see if it works. And I don't want to give away too much about I basically don't want to give away too much about my client stuff, about people who actually pay me money to do work. I don't want to, I want to keep that secret. Okay. What is happening? All right, this is going to be a little bit of a quiet second. All right, is this going to work? Okay, so this seems to be working. Generating an intermediate file. This is just generating a bunch of stuff. That actually seems to be working. Where did it go? I'm going to leave that running in the back. I'm going to leave that running off screen for a second. Could it be, okay, so now we have to figure out, okay, well, why isn't this working? Could it be that I incidentally ran terminal as administrator and now I don't have administrative rights because I built those folders originally as administrator? And also, oh, this is actually giving me errors. I am so confused right now. I'm literally kind of like at a loss as to what to do. This has never happened. I know I sound like a guy on a date, and like you're starting to get hot and heavy with the girl, and you're like, and things aren't working out, and you're like, I don't know. This has never happened before. You know, which is a lie because sometimes it happens. It just happens, okay? Men are not machines. We have feelings too, and sometimes, it just isn't working. All right, let's try this. Could not load cache. Why? Hold on a sec. Okay, I know what the problem there is. I was really hoping to make some progress today. I was really, really hoping. I was hoping more than anything. But now we're just getting completely sidetracked with this. So I'm going to delete everything. I'm just going to nuke it, scorched earth, and now I'm going to try under PowerShell. Let me make sure it's an empty folder. Let's try it again. CMake ... I'm trying to think. Again, telling it the generator. Let me pass in a bogus generator and make sure I have the generator string correctly. I have the generator string typed in correct. So if I look up here, I did. Visual Studio 17 2022 is the one I want. And all of this looks normal. It detected the C++ compiler. It's checking some things. It's making sure this and that. Jove says, Jove says, I barely stayed up to watch. Wow, you explained it in a really effective way. Thank you. I always thought I'd be a good teacher. Don't worry, I can keep secrets. Oh, good. I hope so. And you probably are the only one watching. Although, no, there do seem to be a couple of lurkers. All right. So we've generated the files. Why? I bet no, because that wouldn't explain the other one. Could not load cache. I am dumbfounded. I'm kind of at a loss as to what to do. The CMake project looks fine. CMake, it's loading. It's got boost. I'm saying that this is a static library. And the really telling thing is I can run and build it through Visual Studio. This runs perfectly fine. Okay, so here, this is actually doing the CMake step as well. Requirements, it's actually going through. We got to reload it. And of course, it deleted everything. Let's rebuild. And then this rebuilds it just fine. What is happening? Oh my God. What is going on? Why? I literally just wanted to try. Okay. All right. I have another idea. So what we want to do is we want to try and narrow down the problem. There could be a few problems. It could be my code. It could be my environment. It could be my computer, which is kind of the same as code. Wow, that's a lot of lines of code. That's not a lot of lines of code. That's like no code. That's the whole point. That's what's driving me nuts. Like it's like no code at all. It's purposely very simple. It's purposely very small because I just wanted to start small and then, work your way up. All right. So like I said, it could be the code, it could be the environment. Those are the two big things. So what I want to do is I want to build in a different environment. Now, I don't have my Mac handy. Those are all downstairs, and I wouldn't be able to stream. What I do have, however, is a Linux machine that I can SSH into. If I remember the IP 68148 Addy. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this Linux machine. If I remember the password. Okay, good. So this is Linux. I am going to, do I have a source folder? No, make directory source. Make directory source. Change directory source. Make directory lols apps just for the lols. Change directory. And now I'm going to pull this code down. I need to check out the development branch because I'm pretty sure that's where I put it. Check out dev. What is the name of the branch I'm on? No, it's on master. Really? Really? Now I'm even more confused. Okay, that's interesting. So I never checked the code into. I didn't check the code into GitHub, which is fine, and should not be the cause of the problem that I'm seeing. So let me check the code into GitHub, and I'm going to use a GUI just because it's easier. I just find it easier. Source. Add. So what this is this is going to tell me all the files that have changed. This does not mean all the files I have created or edited. It just tells me what files I've changed. So like you can see here, you see how it says build /. That means all these files are under the build directory. The build directory is where I was doing the work. Where is it? So here you can see here how it's /build. And that's where I had that's where I had to generate a bunch of build files. And so these are everything you see with a build in front of it. Those are the files that the tool generated. Now I don't want to check those into my source code because those were generated locally for the local system, and so that the local system could build the program. So what we do is we just go and we say ignore everything underneath of build. All right, that narrows it down. The README file, we will check that in. So what I'm doing is I'm doing I didn't want to do stage all. Because I'm going to do it one at a time. So if I highlight on a file and I do stage select it, what that's going to do is that's going to move the file from down here in the bottom, which is just files I've edited, to staged files. And staged files are like you're preparing things to check into source code. So what I'm doing is I'm moving files from, they were simply edited, but I don't know if I want to put them into the source code. And then I'm moving them to another state, which is staged, which kind of means like, okay, I've edited these files and I do want to check them in the source code. But you haven't actually checked them in the source code yet. So let's go through. So git ignore, typically I do check that in. That just tells Git what files to ignore. So remember how I told it to ignore that build folder? Well, this file git ignore set tells Git, okay, ignore the build folder. CMakes list, this is the file we created for actually building the program. Settings JSON, I think I'm probably just going to ignore that. This file here, this one, the one I just said I'm going to ignore, those are settings for the text editor, and I accidentally added that. I don't want to check those in. I'm actually going to ignore that, and I'll ignore it by file name. And see, okay, so this is a learning moment. So you can see how, so up here I had git ignore with the build folder, and now I just said, oh, there's something else I want to ignore. So git had to update the file that tells it what to ignore. And now if I look at this file here, it's going to have two things. It's going to have the build folder and it's going to have that Visual Studio file. Just like that. So I got to tell it, okay, I want you to commit the new version of the ignore file. All right, so CMake Conan, we want to put that in. And so these are just the CMake files that are for building the library. All right, so here we go. We'll check this in. Updating library. And then I want to push it. And my dog is driving me nuts. He needs to go downstairs. He's driving me crazy. I hear him scratching at the door. I'm not letting him in because I don't feel like dealing with him right now. All right, so now that I've pushed all those files up, if I go back to my Linux computer, and if I can do that, where is that? That's here. So you see how when I checked out the files from GitHub, when I checked them out from my source code, I only had two files in. So what we just did is we checked in, we uploaded a bunch of other files to our GitHub. But I need to now tell my Linux box like, oh, okay, well, there's a bunch more files in source code now, so pull those down. And you just simply do that with git update, and then you can I usually pass that in. Whoops. Git pull, sorry, git pull. And so you can see it pulled a bunch of files. Now, if I list the files in the folder, it's going to have all that other stuff. Right, great. So let's make a folder to actually do the compiling. We'll go into it. So again, now here, since this is Linux, this is a little different. And I have to do something different to get the build tools I want. And I need to remember what that is. Set SCL. I don't remember the command. Enable dev tool set 8 should be fine. Okay. So so I'm not going to bother explaining that. That's just something I need to do on Linux. So now I am ready to do the CMake command like I did before. And the only thing I have to tell it here, since it's Linux, it's a little bit different. I don't need to tell it which compiler to use. Linux will figure that out automatically. I just need to tell it what type of executable, what type of program to build, whether it's a release version, a debug, or one of the others. We're just going to do debug. And an error occurred. Oh, okay. I forgot that Conan. Okay, so that should be a simple matter of, okay, so one of the tools that I need in order to build this isn't installed. So I just need to install it. And that should be, actually, no, it should be pip 3 installed Conan. All right, so this is, since Conan is actually a Python application, which I think is weird, a Python application to manage C++ resources, whatever. Oh my God, now there's another problem. What is this? Oh, permission denied. Okay, that should be an easy fix. just rerun the command with with administrator permissions. All right, come on. I believe in you. And my dog is still driving me nuts. I'm about to go beat him. I mean, I love that animal, but he is just... I mean, he was with my wife a second ago, but my wife went downstairs. And for some reason, he's not going downstairs with her. He's staying up here. All right, Conan is now installed. So let's go back and rerun the CMake command, and then hopefully it should work this time. But that CMake, but the only thing I can think of... Oh, okay. Well, that was quick. So now let's try and build. So what has happened here is it has written the build files. Remember, the build files are what tells the compiler how to build the program. And in this case, the program is just a library. But anyway, and I'll talk about that in a minute because I wonder if that's the problem. Okay, we'll just do this. Oh, build. Oh my God, I think I know what I was doing wrong. I think I know what I was doing wrong. If I could type. No. Okay. That's not what I was doing wrong. All right. So you can see here that when I did CMake build and I tell it how many... and then just to keep it honest, it's not going to do that. Okay, whatever. But you can see it built just fine. It says linking built static library built target mylib. So in Linux, it built it no problem. Over on Windows, the same exact command, and I can keep myself honest just by getting rid of everything else. Just, it can't load the cache. I don't understand. I literally do not understand why. I've not seen this problem before. And I'm going to try something off screen too. I'm going to try a different something off screen. With, again, a work project. Yeah, that's working fine. So WTF? Jobe says, don't give up, you will fix it. The more you sharpen a sword, the better it cuts. Yes, yes, yes. I as I've been programming longer, I've gotten a lot better at not panicking. And, you know, because there used to be times when I would be doing something and be like, oh my God, I'm never going to fix this. I'm never going to figure it out. And I always figure it out. In the end, I always either figure it out or find a way around it. Generally, 85, 90% of the time, I figure it out. And that other 10, 15% of the time, I figure a way around it. And sometimes that's almost as good. And sometimes actually finding a way around it is better because what you were trying to get to work with, what you were trying to get to work is crap. And the way that you found to work around it actually improves it somehow. So, you know, it's finding alternative methods to accomplish what you need. It's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it improves it. It improves it. But this is just bizarre. I don't get this. I don't understand what's going on here. What else can we do? Let's go in here. I'll explain what this is in a second, but I'm just curious. Okay, so that load, I mean, that didn't work, but that loaded the cache with no problem. It is windy and stormy outside. All right, I'm going to stop talking for a second. Sorry. So this is a small program that is it's an MQTT server. I'm not going to explain too much what that is. 1933. Oh, okay. I know what the problem here is. I know exactly what this problem is. This problem is that I need to, and I can do this from memory. Maybe I can't. All right. We'll go up one folder. Go up another folder, Electron, CPP, CMake, star. Okay, that fixed it. All right. So yesterday when I talked about the Discord like program that I wanted to write in order to, it gets back a message. Okay, OBS is okay. I just got a message saying OBS disconnected and OBS is reconnecting. What is happening? It's like, do I have a virus? Literally, do I have a virus? I don't think I do. I'm pretty sure this computer has virus software. And even if it did, that doesn't mean anything. I really don't trust virus software. Honestly, I don't use virus software. But this machine, I kind of have to. Like certain clients, when you want to connect to their VPN, they require you have virus software installed, or else they won't let you connect to their VPN. So this one, I'm pretty sure does have. And yes, I'm looking off screen. It in fact does have virus software. So OBS disconnected and then decided to reconnect. All right. So what is this error? Error building blah 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 blah. Error in build method zlib. Conan. So what this can do? Conan remove zlib. So again, every little thing I want to do, there was a roadblock. Every little thing. It's just roadblock after roadblock. Oh, you want to list the folders and you want to list the files in that folder? Well, the folder is corrupt. You're going to have to you're going to have to fix it. Oh, you're using a tool to fix it? Well, you need to download the latest version of that tool. Oh, you need to download the latest version of that tool? Well, you're going to have to sign into the website. Oh, well, you want to sign into the website? Well, your credentials have expired. You need to reset your password. Oh, you want to reset your password? Well, it needs to be you can't use an old password because, you can't use an old password. It's just one thing after another, after another, after another. Okay, like this. What is this? What is this? Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm about ready to cry. All right. I have another idea. If I go to tools, I can open up a command line. Let's open up a PowerShell. I'm going to open up a PowerShell that has all the paths for the C++. It has all the paths for the C++. All right, so I am going to remove. Oh wait, this is PowerShell, so I can't do it in PowerShell. I gotta come over to Git because I know how to do it in Git. I'm sorry, Bash. I know how to do it in Bash. Okay, that is still on my Linux machine. Let me close that so I don't get confused. All right, I'm going to, so if I come over here, I'm in the same folder. If I list files, there's a bunch of files. Now, if I come over here to nuke them, because I don't know the command offhand to do it in PowerShell, and then I list them again, it should be empty. This is good. This is what we want. I'm going to simply try this, see what this does. So you might notice that earlier I was passing all these I was passing these parameters to my CMake command. I was passing like the -G telling it what generator to use, and I was passing the CMake build type telling it what build type to use. I'm just passing. I'm now just issuing the command to tell it to just generate build files. I'm going to let it figure out build files for what compiler version and what build type, and it broke. Of course it doesn't work. Oh God. How do I do this for a living? Like, how? How is it possible? I made absolute... and I need to stop. Well, I got 20 minutes left, so we still have time. Because now suddenly zlib is broken, and I don't know why. Let me make sure the Conan's updated. That looks like an updated version of Conan. Cache build. It needs to build zlib. Seriously, man. F my life. Like, why is this so difficult? Literally, I just want to build a library. Oh, wow. All right. I have another idea. zlib is required by the library boost. All right. I'm thinking we save this problem for another day, and we remove boost from the library we're building because we don't need it. I just kind of put it in as a nice to have. So we will remove it entirely as a requirement. And in order to do that, you go to your CMake file, and here you can see this is where I've included boost. I've said Conan, when you run, you need to require, this is what it requires, you need to require boost. What I am going to do is simply delete that. Now, let's nuke the folder that we've been working in, and let's try again. This should at least generate the CMake, the build files. That worked. Oh, wait, what? Manually specified variables were not used. Well, that's weird. CMake build type. You might be able to tell that I'm kind of running out of patience. Okay, I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even want to talk about it. But I have to look at it. I have to look at it. What you're witnessing on this stream is just the slow destruction of a man's will to live. It's just the gradual decline of a man just with any desire to move on and carry on. CMake build type. Isn't that what I typed? CMake build type. How is it telling me manually specified variables were not used by this project? It's a built-in type. What is going on? What is happening? Oh, God. Oh, what is happening? What? Oh, what is happening? All right. I'm running out of motivation. I'm running out. I mean, you know, I have a meeting at 8:30 with a client, and I'm thinking about just calling them and telling them, I'm sorry, I've just lost the will to live. Can we reschedule for Monday? Oh, God. This is, I don't understand if this tells me this is an unrelated project I haven't touched. There must be a problem with CMake. That is the only thing I can think of, is there is a problem with my CMake build. So I am going to download CMake. I'm going to reinstall it, is what I'm going to do. That's the only thing that makes sense. Like, error could not load cache. I don't know what cache they're talking about. I assumed it was a cache about I assumed it was a cache related to the source, to the project I was building, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's a cache file internal to CMake. Maybe I have a virus. I have had one virus in my however many years of programming. I've had one virus, and maybe this is the second time. I mean, that's kind of where my mind is going. Okay, let's do repair. Repair errors to the most recent installation. Let's repair it. Repair. Because like when you pass in you pass in these variables to CMake, like there's CMake underscore build underscore type, and that again that tells you what type of project you're building, and what I mean, or what type of executable you're building. Are you building one for debug, where like you're releasing to people who are testing your application that will help you debug it, or the release is another type? Are you building a version that you want to release for people to actually download, purchase, and use? And so you specify, and there's a couple of others I'm not going to bother talking about, but you specify the type by specifying the variable CMake underscore build underscore type. And that is a built-in variable. And CMake literally, so I passed it in the CMake, and you could see, like in many of the commands I used, I passed it in. Where, see, like right here. CMake, I'm telling it, okay, build type debug. And then it told me, it told me manually specified variables were not used by the project. CMake build type. And it's like, no. So maybe there's some issue with CMake itself. Maybe it got corrupted somehow. Maybe, I don't know. Jove says, "Don't say that." I assume Jove is talking about the complete breakdown that I'm having, the destruction of a man's ego and will to live. No, don't worry, Jove. I would never do anything crazy, but this is just weird, because it's like I had this idea of like, okay, I'm going to stream, and I'm going to build the library, and then I'm going to actually try and get the Electron portion started. I can't even build the library. Jove says, anyways, I need to go get some rest, go visit my uncle. See you later. Good luck with the programming. You'll fix it. I'm rooting for you. Thank you, Jove, and maybe we'll play a game of chess later tonight. Later my night. Later, maybe, I don't know. Maybe in like 12 hours we could play a game of chess or so on stream. So good luck. Tell your uncle I said hi. All right, let's see. Copy new files. It's going to copy the files. I was able to accomplish absolutely nothing today. Another day of accomplishing very little. And I told myself that I should work on this. Well, I had two struggles. I wanted to work on it off stream, but then I was like, no, I kind of want this to be one of those things where I do all the work on stream, so people can actually view the progress of the project as it goes along. But now I think, no, I'm just going to work on it off stream in my spare time. I think so. And then also another thing, I will be going away on Monday. I leave for a 3-week trip to Greenland on Monday. I will be visiting the capital Nuuk. It's not Nuuk. Nuuk. I learned that the last time I was there. It's actually 2 syllables. Nuuk. Nuuk. So I'm going to go to Nuuk, and then I'm going to go to another town of about an hour's flight, 2-hour flight north of Nuuk called Ilulissat, which is slightly above the Arctic Circle. I will be there for, I think, 2 or 3 nights. And then I will be going to another town called Qaanaaq. Qaanaaq. But you might know, any geography nerds might know Qaanaaq better as Thule. And this Thule is the second most northern settlement in North America. The northernmost settlement in North America is Alert, and that is in Canada. And it is difficult. It's not like a city. You can't, or a town. You can't go visit it. You can't go visit Alert because it's a military base. But you can go visit Thule, kind of. So Thule is a military base as well, but Thule is located right outside of the town of Qaanaaq. And so I'm going to be going to Qaanaaq. I probably will not be going to Thule, but I will be spending 2 nights in Qaanaaq. 2 or 3 nights. Okay. Is CMake working? And I will be streaming when I've already decided that I will be streaming when I'm in Greenland. I'm going to have a lot of downtime. Now, why is it telling me CMake build type is not used? Oh, wow. I am so confused. CMake build type. Do I need to capitalize it? I doubt I do, but let me see. So I'm planning on taking my microphone. I will probably just be using the camera that is on my MacBook. But yeah, I do plan on I do plan on streaming. I'm going to be there for 3 weeks, which is going to be a long time. And I might even extend it to a 4-week entire vacation, or not vacation, but a trip, because I will just be passing through Iceland. I fly into Keflavik, and then I wait for an hour and a half before I catch a flight to Greenland. And on the way home, it's pretty much the same case. But so I might do a stopover in Iceland on the way home, just for maybe a couple of nights, because I got to fly home on like a Thursday. And I prefer to fly on the weekends because then I don't have to miss any meetings or anything. So maybe I will actually go ahead and just fly from Greenland to Iceland and then stay in Iceland for 2 nights and then fly home. Because I'll get to Iceland on a Thursday, and then so maybe I'll just stay in Iceland the rest of Thursday, Friday, and then fly home Saturday. Okay. I am about to call it a day and just kind of scorched earth this. I am really at a loss. I want to see if anybody online, if the internet has seen this error. CMake could not load cache. It's from 216. I'm having trouble to install ref, blah, blah, blah. Any advice here? This was with CMake. Looks like this version wants you to build from the root directory, aka blah, blah, blah. That mostly worked. Can you please show your shell output? That's not really helpful. Error could not load cache. If you're using CLion, if I meet this problem, no. To configure the project CMake, to build the project that run CMake configure, it should generate the required files. Yes, I know that. Okay, well, wait a minute. I skipped over a step here. CMake. If I go ahead and I look at, and the reason I keep going back to GitHub is because I'm looking at build scripts that I have written for other projects that I know work. I know these work. Make directory build. So here, I am doing CMake, the workspace, GitHub, and blah, build type, dashboard, build examples. All right, I'm going to try one more thing, and then I'm going to call it a day for the stream. And because this is, oh wow, this is just really, really irritating me. And I am really at a loss as to what the issue here is. I'm going to build a project that I know should build, that works. Oops, no, let's just abort that. So we'll go in to source. I'm not going to build Ashcoin, but I am going to build the AshDB. AshDB. I'm going to make a build folder for it. Change into that build folder. Now I'm going to tell it, okay, here's my, the dot means the folder back one or up one, however you want to look at it, and say, okay, that is my workspace. And what I want you to do is, let's look at how we do it online, how we do it in GitHub, and the command is right here. A64, okay, that's using 2019. We'll try that. Types or debug. Okay, debug lowercase. Build unit test on, build examples on. I am going to run this exactly how it is run in GitHub's CI/CD system. So again, this is the command that generates those make files. This is the command that says, all right, here's the operating system, here's the compiler, go ahead, make the make files. And that worked beautifully. That worked without a hitch. And if I build it itself, let's see. Could not load cache. I am dumbfounded. I really do not know what to do. I have one more idea. Wait, is that going to work? I think I have one more idea. I am going to try. I have another Windows computer. I believe this is the IP for it. I'm going to log in off screen really quick. No, wait a minute. All right. I need to log back into my Linux machine so that I can figure out how to log into this other machine I want to log into. So give me a second. And then so I can do this. Oh, whoops, I screwed that up. SSH that. Okay. Come on. Are you going to work? Come on. Come on. Oh, it's just sitting there. Okay. Okay. One second. PG. It is really windy outside. Okay, I can bring this back on. So now what I want to do, I am on a different Windows machine, believe it or not. This is, I am logged into a separate Windows machine. I am going to no, not that. I am going to once again take this AshDB project and clone it. Great. And this will tell me if it's a me problem or if it's a something else, a computer problem or something else problem. Okay. I'm going to make the directory to build in, change into that directory. Now I am going to tell it, okay, use, I know I have Visual Studio 16 2019 installed on here. I also want you to create a debug version. It's doing its thing. It has to download some stuff. It's probably going to have to build a few things. So this is going to take a couple minutes. I could try... I did push the source code. So let's try this. Instead of waiting for that, am I back on the... This also has me concerned. MinGW64. And I'm also back on... Control C took me out of the thing. So let me see. This is obnoxious. I'm going to clone Electron CPP onto there. Let me remove boost. All right, let's see. Where am I? I'm completely lost as to where I am. Okay, that's over on the other screen. This, okay, perfect. Git clone. No, not that. This. This is another Windows computer we're going to try it on. This should, if this works, then I'm going to suspect that the problem is with my computer. All right. God, look at that prompt. That's much better. So I'm going to tell it, create the files of Visual Studio 16 2019, and you are going to create a build type of debug. So there's no boost. It should be pretty quick. This is going to do the same thing. I am pretty sure of it. It's a problem with the project. It is a problem with the project. It is a problem with the project's layout. This is all I have required. Huh. I want to find the simplest CMake I can. It's right here, add executable. Okay, well, not quite the simplest. I want to... This is amazing. This is crazy. All right, so if I remove, I'm just going to remove as much extra stuff as I can. Remove the standard setting, and that just add, keep the lib. It comes into the lib. It's going to say, okay, now I'll just add subdirectory mylib, and then in here include maybe, okay, let's get rid of that. Again, just getting rid of everything extra that I don't need. Source files is there, header files is there. All right, so we're once again, we're trying to build the Electric CPP app. Bring this back over. Unbelievable. It is after 7 o'clock. I really have to get going soon. I'm going to try this, and then hopefully it works. This is one of those things where I feel like the error is so obvious, but I'm so hyper focused on it that I can't see it. I feel like oops, no. Okay, let that run. Let that run. Yeah, I feel like the error is like, if I walked away from this for like a day or two and came back to it, this looks like it's going to work. No. Wow. Wow. What is going on? Okay. All right. I am coming to terms with a few things right now. I have had to kind of, reassess my life, reassess things in general. And I'm realizing that I don't know what I am doing. Like, I've been faking it for years, right? I don't know what's happening. The only other thing I can think of is, since I'm not building executable and just building a library, that is causing issues for some reason, but that doesn't make sense. Holy F. The error has to be so obvious. I'm like scratching myself because I just don't know what to do. Let's go back to Hello World. Let's do this. Let's actually try just with the Hello World copy, or with the Hello World program. Namespace, blah, blah, blah. Close the namespace. And then over here in the CMake file, instead of add library, we do add executable mylib, just keep it like that. Scorch earth everything. Parameter CMake 18. Ah. This program will rue the day it messed with me. Breathe in, breathe in. Breathe in. Just breathe in, Addie. It's okay. Just breathe in. We have the project. Just for giggles. I don't think this is the problem, but just for giggles, we'll put the project name, then the CMake minimum requirement. Then we'll get rid of this as well. Just comment that out. And this is nearly identical to the example that should run. And just to make sure, I am going to make sure I am looking at the right folder. I am. Once again, we nuke everything. And then once again, we try building. And then once again, we get error, no cache. I don't know what's happening. Could not load cache. I oh wow. I'm running as administrator now just to see if it's a permissions issue. It has to be a problem with the computer. It has to be something with this machine. I don't know what. The only thing I can think of to do now is just completely uninstall CMake and reinstall it. Because again, it works fine. I mean, CMake generates the build files, and then if I load the build files up through Visual Studio, it works fine. It's just with trying to build with CMake, it doesn't work. Oh boy. All right. I'm going to take that off stream. This has been a complete waste of an hour and a half of just sitting here. Wow. Wow. That was horrible. What a horrible day. I mean, it is Friday the 13th. Things are bound to go wrong. If there was any day on which your spirit was to be broken and then ground into a fine dust so that some spirit could snort it and then laugh, this is the day for that. And that is exactly what has happened. I appreciate anybody who sat through this nightmare, and I apologize if it was as painful for you as it was for me, because this was extremely painful. But, dear watcher, dear viewer, I make you this promise that tomorrow, or maybe later today, I've been on a streaming kick lately, so we'll see how long it lasts. But the next time that I do a programming stream, I will have this issue resolved. We will have worked through it already, and I promise you, that's a a pinky swear. I pinky swear we will be ready to start with the Electron side of stuff, and that's where we'll take it from there. That's where we'll take it. All right, but thank you again for watching. Be sure to click and subscribe down below, to like the video, to subscribe to my channel, help my channel grow, and let's kind of pretend like this video never happened. Like maybe, like a video, like my chess video from a couple days was pretty cool. I thought that was fun. Maybe some of my traveling videos, like, tell your friend about a traveling video of mine. Let's just keep this video on the down low. All right. Have a great Friday, and I will see you again. Oh, wait. Joe just popped in. Kopla. He literally just popped in as I'm signing off. Kopla. WTF. Joe, it's 7:15. No, I said... Joe says, I thought 6 hours today. No, I said on the weekend. On the weekend. Today's Friday. The weekend begins later on today. But I might pop back on. I'm probably going to work for a few hours, do some actual work, and then pop back on and try to work my way through this nightmare. Joe, if you just joined, you're one of the lucky ones, because this was just an entirely frustrating hour and a half of absolutely no progress. No progress. And I didn't even learn anything. Like with most times when you have a problem and it takes you a long time to work through the problem, you learn something. Like you can walk away from that and be like, all right, well, that was like 3 hours of my life wasted. But no, it wasn't wasted, because I actually learned something. I learned blah, 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 blah. The next time that blah, blah, blah happens, I know to do blah, 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 blah. I learned something. I learned nothing today. Nothing. Oh, what a nightmare. But I'll jump back on the stream tonight. It's a Friday night. Maybe I'll jump back on with a glass of wine, or a bottle of wine at this point, or maybe a couple of bottles of wine, and maybe some drunk programming, maybe some drunk chess. I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll see how it goes. But thank you, everybody. Like I said, share the video, share the channel. Be sure to like. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you later on today. All right. Bye, fam.